The NFL offseason is always a chess match, and this year, the first major quarterback domino to fall appears to be Matthew Stafford. However, the next move in this high-stakes game revolves around the future of Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. Head coach Kevin O'Connell spoke candidly at the NFL Combine about his relationship with Darnold, offering insight into the team's perspective on the quarterback's potential future. "I've had great dialogue with Sam since the season ended, and even very recently," O'Connell stated. "I think my relationship with him has grown to a point where the respect level is sky high. This process is going to play out both in the short term and the long term for both the Vikings and Sam. The NFL believes he can play quarterback at a high level, and that's a great thing. I'm proud to be a part of his journey to this point, and we'll see where things go from here." That last comment was particularly telling. The league now sees Darnold as a capable starting quarterback, something that wasn't a certainty when he entered the 2024 season. But reading between the lines, O'Connell's praise could also be an acknowledgement that other teams are willing to pay more than Minnesota is comfortable offering. The Vikings have a number in mind, and while they won't overpay, they recognize that Darnold's stock has risen significantly. It's a complicated decision for Minnesota. Darnold's 2024 campaign was a tale of two halves. At his best, he provided stability and flashes of brilliance, but at his worst, he struggled when it mattered most. The final 2 weeks of the season left a sour taste. Darnold faltered in Week 18 against the Detroit Lions in a game that could secure the division and the number 1 seed. He followed that up with a disappointing playoff performance against the Rams. Yet, O'Connell made it clear that the full body of work must be considered. Darnold is still just 27 years old, and there is a belief within the organization that he has room to grow. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the presence of J.J. McCarthy, the highly touted rookie who spent his first NFL season recovering from a significant knee injury. McCarthy didn't have the luxury of a redshirt year filled with practice reps. His development was stalled due to health concerns. If McCarthy is fully healthy, he represents a long-term option at a fraction of the cost of Darnold. But that's a big if. And the Vikings must weigh the risk of moving on from a known commodity for an unknown one. The most logical path forward? Retaining Darnold, but only at the right price. Minnesota is unlikely to engage in a bidding war, particularly with teams like the Las Vegas Raiders looming as a potential suitor. The Raiders, fresh off a season of offensive struggles, may prefer a veteran quarterback over a rookie, making them a prime candidate to drive up Darnold's market value. But money isn't everything. If Darnold values continuity and the opportunity to further his career under O'Connell, he may be willing to take a slightly lower deal to remain in Minnesota. This debate extends beyond just Darnold. The conversation around quarterback salaries in today's NFL has become increasingly nuanced. 3 signal callers, Darnold, Stafford, and Brock Purdy, may be best served by taking less than their absolute market value to stay in ideal situations. The logic is simple. Long-term stability often outweighs short-term financial gain. If Darnold remains in Minnesota and builds on his 2024 season, his value in 2025 could skyrocket. The league has already started to reconsider its perception of him. Another strong campaign could erase the early struggles of his career entirely. So, who will be making the bigger mistake? The Vikings by letting Darnold walk, or the team that signs him? The answer likely depends on where he lands. If Darnold were to join an organization like the Rams, where he could work with Sean McVay, or the Raiders under Tom Brady's influence, it's hard to call that a bad move. But for the Vikings, moving on from Darnold in favor of the unknown would be a significant gamble. This is a classic. Don't mess up your for sure for some more scenario. Darnold is a proven, if imperfect, commodity. McCarthy is a complete unknown at the NFL level. If Minnesota lets Darnold go and McCarthy struggles or isn't ready, they could find themselves regretting the decision. The Vikings front office must decide whether to bet on potential or stick with a quarterback they know can win games. With the quarterback carousel spinning faster by the day, the next move will define the Vikings' future. Will they secure a bridge quarterback in Darnold while McCarthy develops? Or will they roll the dice on their young prospect, risking instability at the most important position in football? The answer will shape the 2025 season and potentially the years beyond.